Hello, this is Shannon of Ebonygeek45, and we had to cut our last video short because of time restraints, of course. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get back to it right at the point that we cut it off. And that's a good reason why you should make sure to subscribe to us so that you know when we upload new videos. And that's if you're following us, and I hope you are. And so we're going to go ahead and jump into that video right at the point where we left off. So here we go. Let me get that back down to size. There you go. You know that Windows 7 it's I'm just getting used to it. Is how I'm going. I know a lot of you guys had it for a long time, but I had it, but then I like to play with Ubuntu and Ubuntu a lot, so it takes some bearing getting used to again. Cause I got the cube on one, and then you got the multiple screens on the other one, and you don't want to hear this. Let's go ahead and go through our coding. Okay, so what we did here is we didn't just declare it like we've been doing it in some of our tutorials. We declared it and initialized our variables right away. And they're storing these values. Our I1 plus I2, our I1 minus I2, our I1 times I2, and on and on. They're storing these variables in their variables. And so we don't have, since we did everything we can with our variables, then all we had to do is come down here and we want additional wording and additional formatting, and that's the reason for our strings and our format in the strings. And then we want to print these all to the screen with the results, and we did it fairly nicely. And so what we have for addition, which is this line, okay, so what we have for addition is I I1 plus I2 equals I plus, and that's what's being stored in our variables. And when we put our variable down here along with our string information, it printed out 25. And then the same thing with I1 minus I2. Well, we know that 22 minus 3 is 19. And the same thing with I1 times I2. Well, 22 times 3 is 66. And then we did the same thing with division. I1 divided by I2, and it's giving us the result 7, which we already know that I1 divided by I2, which is 22 divided by 3, isn't really 7 now, is it? It's 7 with a remainder of 1. And that's what the modulus do right here. The modulus will bring out the results of the remainder of a number. And so you could pretty much use division and modulus together in something. In some programs, they just want the remainder for something. Now, I've never ran into where they might need that, but I've been told it's pretty useful in some things. Okay, so our division is not quite correct. Now, if we wanted it to be correct, then what we would do is we could do two things. Let's go down here. We're going to print out another line. And what we might want to say in that line is, we're going to start out our printout. Okay. And then what we might want to say in that line is the answer is because we know what we trying to get the answer to, or the accurate answer to is the best way to put it. And then we might put insertion operator. I divide, and another insertion operator. And then we might want to put another string here. And then we would go with a remainder of, and then put a space right there. And then we might want to go insertion operator, and we probably gonna need some more space here so you can see what we're doing. And we will put I modulus, and I think I spelled that wrong because my little blue box didn't pop up. I module, and there go our blue box. I modulus, and then another insertion operator, and then let's bring it over a little bit more. It's running right off the screen. And then since I'm going to be adding some code to, we're going to be adding some code after this. Let's enter, let's put 2 lines separated, /n/n, and as you remember, it's returning the cursor to the next line, and then it's going to do it again. So we're going to have a nice little double space there. And so what it's saying is the answer is, and then it's going to put our I divide variable in there, which is I1 divided by I2, and then it's saying with a remainder of, and then it's putting in our variable I modulus, see, and I1, and then the percent sign for modulus, and I2. So theoretically, when we run this, it should say the answer is 7 with a remainder of 1. And let's go ahead and get rid of our box. Let's save and let's run it. Okay, what did I do wrong here? And I didn't put in my semicolon. Okay, now let's save it and let's run it. And as you can see, we're gonna have to do a little cleanup, but it says the answer is 7, and see, we didn't put a space in there, with a remainder of 1. And let's go ahead and clean that up a bit. Let's put our code blocks back up. Okay, let's go ahead and clean that up a bit. And wait a minute, let's bring our box back over and bring our code blocks back up. Okay, and I'm gonna get that out of there. And where we ran into what we was doing is, or well, where we ran into the formatting problem is that I put a space right here, and that don't need to be there. So let's take that out, and we want a space right here because our results is printing out right here, and we want a space between our results and the next part of our sentence. So we're going to put a space right here in the string. Okay, and then let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's put another string up here where the modulus is, because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want the results here, yes, but then we want an empty space, and then we want the next sentence to print off here. And so let's do a little bit more formatting and put in a string, and what this string is going to hold is simply that we want to go to the next line. Okay, and then of course put a space, and then you need to put another insertion operator. See, this is how you do some formatting of how I do some formatting to make it look all good. So let's go ahead and save it and run it, and hopefully our results will be looking pretty good, don't you think? Okay, so we did that formatting. We put an extra space in there. Remember, this line is bringing it to the next line, so we have pretty good amount of room right there. And then our next bit of coding, and as you can see, well, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay, as you can see, it's saying the answer is, and we got our little formatting there, and then it's bringing out I divide, which the results is 7, and then it's continue on with a remainder of, and we have our remainder of, and then I modulus, and then it's saying 1, which is what a modulus is. It's just giving us the remainder of a division problem. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it right here and go ahead and experiment with this so that you can, understand this better, because depending on what kind of coding you're gonna be doing, it's gonna say whether you're gonna be dealing with a lot of arithmetic. And we're gonna get to the incrementing in the next tutorial, and then we'll finally get to our question. Da da da. I can't sing. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did that to you. Which is, do you know that the average of any number 5 times is itself? And we may start on that in the next tutorial. We're definitely going to be finishing up our code for this tutorial with the incrementing and all. And so do make sure to check it out. And I'm going to end this video with good luck and happy coding.